Is that it? Because I know there's no trial for him.
There will not be a trial for Bryan Kohberger, and he has pled guilty to all charges. Bryan Kohberger has accepted a plea deal. In accepting the plea deal, Kohberger will plead guilty to the 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary and serve the rest of his life in prison. He will not have the chance of parole. This plea allows him to avoid the death
Yeah, he pled guilty.
Penalty which prosecutors have been seeking from the beginning. In a statement posted on social media from Kaylee's family, they expressed their disappointment. They said, quote, "We are beyond furious at the state of Idaho. They have failed us. Please give us some time. This was very..."
Wait, serious question. Why is it shocking?
Very unexpected. We appreciate all your love and support. As you may recall, a judge recently
didn't we know it was him?
Kohberger's team an extra week to get ready for the trial. Now, this means there will not be any type of trial in Bryan Kohberger's case. If Bryan Kohberger went to trial and was found guilty and got the death penalty, he would have faced the firing squad in Idaho. Because there is a gag order in place, many news outlets have asked for this confirmation from the prosecutors, but nothing has been confirmed. To stay up to date on this case, make sure you click the playlist below.
Oh, because he claimed he was innocent. I see. The family wanted him dead. Yeah, dude. Yes. What the fuck? You killed their babies, dude. Let me search up Bryan Kohberger.
This is shocking news. You were the first to report it. What led to this plea deal?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't see this coming, and I've been covering this story since the very beginning until Friday. On Friday, I started hearing some rumblings that there were discussions happening behind the scenes, which again, my indication was always that the prosecution wanted to take this to the very end, that Bryan Kohberger would never consider a plea deal, that the prosecution was intent on going after the death penalty. So Friday I heard the rumblings. There were apparently discussions that happened over the weekend. There was an offer that was made. The prosecution ended up making this offer to the defense, saying that if Bryan Kohberger pleads guilty to all 4 murder charges and agrees to life in prison.
He was an incel. Yeah, most likely. Most likely. Wait, can y'all hear my fan?
No possibility of parole, no possibility of appeal, would also plead guilty to the burglary charge, that they would take death off the table. And I have learned that that offer was sent over last night to Bryan Kohberger's defense team, and that today they accepted the offer, they accepted the plea deal, so there will not be a trial.
And this is a huge change, Bryan, because all
fucking K, I could hear heavy breathing. Shut up, dude, we're in the serious fucking state right now.
along, Bryan Kohberger's been saying, it wasn't me, it was somebody else, I had nothing to do with it. He kept pointing to all these other people who it might...
Wait, I saw something. Maybe you guys could refresh my memory, because I have short-term memory loss. But I saw something saying he was something about a DoorDash driver.
He has been adamant, even his lawyer, Elizabeth, there were times in court where his lawyer said, I believe my client...
Nah, someone spotted him. Okay.
Is innocent. I believe Bryan Kohberger is innocent. There was no indication that they would ever agree to a deal, and there was no indication that the prosecution would ever offer a deal. I can tell you many of the victims' family members, you read that statement, right now are in total shock and disbelief because this has never been brought up to them before this weekend and Friday when these rumbles.
Oh, someone said right here in the comments, the DoorDash driver saw him. That's when he was like, I'm done. Okay. So yeah, there was a for some reason I thought he was delivering food, but no, a DoorDasher saw him there.
Started to pop up. They never thought a plea deal would be on the table, and they have more questions. Okay, even though he agrees to plead guilty, will there be some kind of confession? Will he say where the murder weapon is? Will some of these questions that they have be answered? They still don't know, they say.
And of course, the big question, why? I want to bring in Ashley Banfield, host of Banfield right here on News Nation. Ashley, you've covered this story also from the very start. The families are in shock. Nobody seems to have seen this coming. Are you as shocked as everybody else watching this?
Yes, I am not only in shock, I think I share with Bryan a bit of sadness as well, because Elizabeth, you've done this job long enough to know that there's always two sides of a courtroom, and one side will be unhappy. It doesn't mean that justice doesn't prevail. This is a different kind of justice. It doesn't feel like justice for a lot of people. Sure as hell doesn't feel like justice for Steve Gonzalez and his family, Kaylee's family. The other families, they weren't all in unison on the death penalty being mandatory in order to feel whole again. They'll never feel whole. Many of them didn't care at this point because they weren't getting their kids back. So it's really hard.
Bro, I couldn't imagine, man. I couldn't imagine not having my baby. Yeah, he took the cowardly way out. He knew everything was stacked against him.
The Gonzalez family, because they did not want this, and families matter. Prosecutors take into account what victims' families want and don't want. Chris Watts.
I hope he opens up and answers all the questions the families have. Yeah, dude, like, why the fuck did you do it? For what was the reason?
Families, victims' family members said, okay, take death off the table. Let him plead guilty. Let him go behind bars for the rest of his life with no opportunity for parole.
Don't even get me started with Chris Watts. He's another piece of shit, dude. Like, how the hell do you do that to your family, bro? Your babies, dog. Your own fucking babies. Your wife. Like, how? If you want it out, just leave.
And no opportunity for an appeal, and we're fine with it. But these families didn't all feel the same way. This is why I'm processing a lot at this point, just to strictly covering the justice of it. I don't know that everybody's feeling justice.
Why, Ashley, would prosecutors make this offer, and why didn't they reach out to the families to tell them? It feels like, I mean, this is all breaking as we speak. The families are just now issuing these statements, but it sure sounds like...
Yo, Margarita, I forgot, dude. The guy from Washington who offed his $3 still hasn't been found. Yo, still? I forgot we did cover him. Bro, what? He's probably in a different country now.
Like they weren't consulted. At least the Gonzalez family says it doesn't sound like they were.
So that's a tough one. Everybody operates differently. Every state operates differently, and then every jurisdiction within a state operates differently. I know that they've been at loggerheads at times with the Gonzalez family because they've been very vocal, and there's been this gag order.
Didn't he unalive himself? I don't know. Yeah, but he's still been looked for Sally.
It's possible that we don't know. I reached out to Steve Gonzalez a little while ago. He's clearly processing a lot, but I haven't heard whether it is true. In fact, he didn't have any consultation prior to this. I would have a hard time believing there was no consultation prior to the media, finding out about it.
Brian, this is...
Yeah, man. Someone here in the comments of this video said the victims didn't get an option. Why should he? Facts. He should have been